Hi there, Paul Dombowski. I'm currently in Kampala, Uganda. I've been here about 3.5 weeks, almost a month now, and I run a software company. And so, even though I'm in Africa, I need to be able to communicate with my customers, usually within a couple hours. Um, the purpose of this video is just to show you some of the tools I use when I travel to Africa. I've been here several times. I have quite a few customers here, in mainly Nigeria, Uganda, and Kenya. So, first of all. Um, when you're changing money in Kampala, Uganda, at the airport you're going to get an exchange rate that's going to be worse than you will in the city. So the best thing to do is just change enough money to get a taxi into town, and then when you're here, you're going to go ahead and go to there's many Forex exchange places here. That applies also to Kenya. Now, on the other hand, in West Africa, for example, in Cote d'Ivoire, Abidjan, or Senegal, the exchange rate is fixed. So it really doesn't matter if you exchange money at the airport or in town, it's always going to be the same rate. And another tip is, when you're taking a taxi into town, a lot of times they'll show you some official document saying it costs, for example, 100,000 shillings to go from Entebbe, where the airport is, into town. And that's pretty much nonsense. You go ahead and bargain them down. I got it down to 65,000, which is probably still a little bit too high. The exchange rate here has gone up quite a bit. So last year I was here and the US dollar was 2,700 to the dollar. Today is 3,500. So I've been here for 3.5 weeks, and it just amazes me every time I translate from how much I spend in shillings to dollars, how cheap it actually is. Okay, so now as far as running my businesses, I run a software company called Liberty Street Software. I get quite a few emails and some phone calls every day. As far as phone calls go, I'm sure there's many different ways of doing this, but what I've done is I've created a business number. I bought a business number from Skype, and it's a New York City based number. And so what happens is, when a customer calls the New York City based Skype business number, it gets transferred to my local Uganda number. So what I did is I bought a BlackBerry before I left on eBay. Actually, you can get really good deals on older BlackBerries, and it's an unlocked BlackBerry. So all I did is just buy a local SIM card. It only costs about $3, $4. So I get my own Uganda number, and I can hook it up to the Skype call forwarding, so that when somebody calls the New York number, the phone call gets transferred to my local Uganda number. And the same works in reverse. So when I use Skype to call a landline or a cell phone in the United States or Canada, the call display will show up as if the call is coming from New York City, and it'll show my Skype number as well, Skype business number. So let me show you a couple of other things I've found here. That I've been here 4 times, okay? And the first couple times, what I did is I bought this USB device that you just plug into your computer, and it gives you access to the internet anywhere, and it worked out pretty well. It was a bit expensive, but you know, if you're running a business, it doesn't, you know, you have to be online all the time. In Kampala, Uganda, and many other African cities, especially for example in Abidjan or Senegal, it's really hard to come by free Wi-Fi. I mean, even if you go to a cafe, for example, there's a lot of cafes here with free Wi-Fi, but if you're going to try and make a Skype phone call, you're going to find that a lot of times you have people in there sucking on the Wi-Fi with their YouTube videos, and the call quality is not going to be good. So what I've done is, this year I was just walking around one of the local malls here, and I noticed a Smile shop. It's called Smile, and what they sell is this Smile Mi-Fi device, which is basically just a walking Wi-Fi hotspot. So I bought this for 210,000 Uganda shillings, which is maybe 60 some odd US dollars, and you get 10 gigabytes when you buy the device. And I just carry it around with me everywhere. Put it in my backpack, put it in my pocket even sometimes, and it gives me internet wherever I am. And the advantage over this USB device is the USB device is only going to work on your computer, whereas the walking Wi-Fi, you know, the Mi-Fi allows you to also use WhatsApp or any other internet-based application on my iPhone, for example. And WhatsApp has really become popular here. It's almost everybody now has, you know, WhatsApp on their phones. Most people do anyways. So anyways, a couple other things I would highly recommend. Before I came here, I was wondering if I really needed a power bar, which you just charge it up and then you can use it to recharge your devices when there's no electricity. In Uganda, there's power's on most of the time, but there are maybe once a week 1 or 2 hour power outages. And for example, if you're taking a long bus trip or something and you're using an iPhone, you're sitting in there on WhatsApp, you're going to quickly eat up your battery. So this thing is coming really handy. There's been many times when my iPhone or my local phone is really low on battery time, and I just hooked it up here. I had this in my backpack, hooked it up, and just saved the day for me. Probably about 5 or 6 times already. So I'd highly recommend that, and especially if you're going to some more remote place in the countryside. Because even the cafes here, for example, there's the Cafe Javas, which is really popular. You see a lot of expats and backpackers in there. Even there, the number of outlets you find is really small compared to what you'd find in North America. And even if there are outlets, as I found out today, often they don't even work. So another tip is I bought this surge protector. And another thing, it's come in really handy. Here we got in Kenya and Uganda, you got a 3-prong power socket like this. And what this does is allow me to plug it into the wall, and then I can plug in 2 USB devices here, and I can also plug in 3 other devices here. And notice it'll accept pretty much any device. For example, in West Africa, they've got a 2-prong plug, but it's like a rounder plug. You'd have to see it. I don't have an example here, but it's a 2-prong kind of round plug, and so this will take North American, West African, I think pretty much any type of plug in Europe as well. So one other tip. I've made a lot of mistakes in the travel over the year. One of the biggest was I remember going down to Jamaica the first time, and I had my iPhone there, and of course as soon as I was in Jamaica, I turned on my iPhone, used my iPhone as if I was still back up in Canada, and then when I got back to Canada, I almost had a stroke when I saw my phone bill. It was just enormous. So be sure to get a local phone. Even if you're only coming here for a few days, I'm sure it's going to save you a lot of money. Okay, well, that's it for now. If you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer. Thank you very much. Take care.